He's a little bit country. He's a little bit rock and roll. He's a little bit polka, death metal, abstract jazz, and German industrial techno.
Hello, hello, hello.
He's Scott Leffler.
Hey.
He's not allowed near the stereo at parties.
Scott Leffler here with Here's the Thing on All Western New York Radio. It is Monday, September 10th, 2018, and a short show for you today. I know it's been a while since we've done this. I apologize, but I wanted to get a short show in, and I'll explain a little bit. I'll explain right now. The All Western New York Awards nominations are currently up, and I want to be nominated. So I wanted to remind you that I do a show, even though I don't do it as often as I'd like to. In fact, I think it's been a few months. Sorry about that. Life gets busy, and I need money to pay bills. And while I enjoy doing the show, it does take away from my ability to pay the bills. Well, not my ability to pay the bills, but it takes away from earning money. So anyway. But I want to do a short show, remind you that my name is Scott Leffler. I am a professional talk show host, literally a professional talk show host. I used to be a professional talk show host for 7 years, and now I do this. Well, in addition to a whole bunch of other things. But I want you to vote for Here's the Thing in the All Western New York Awards, which means you need to first nominate Here's the Thing in the All Western New York Awards under the Best All Western New York Show category. But before we get to that, a couple things I just want to talk about briefly. Today's show is probably going to be, maybe like 10 minutes long at most. Just some thoughts I want to shoot out there, and then we'll wrap things up. I really, really, really want to read Bob Woodward's new book. The book that's out right now, it seems to be the talk of the town, or all the towns, or at least D.C., which I do, of course, pay a particular interest to. I think it's kind of funny. President Donald Trump tweeted several times today his unpleasantries about said book. Said he basically, he doesn't believe it. It's all fake news, blah, blah, blah. And here's why. He probably can't read. That's what I'm thinking. It's just a thought, a consideration. It could be that he can't read. It could also be that, people are telling him, Mr. President, I never said those things. Meanwhile, they totally said those things because, I don't know, I have a feeling people say bad things about Donald Trump, especially people who know him. So there's that. Also, Trump says he fell asleep during Barack Obama's speech last week. Now, I think this is another one that's interesting, and it just goes to show a little bit more about who Donald Trump is. He probably fell asleep because Obama's speech had too many syllables in it. These words have all the syllables. I know the best words. All the best words are very short. These words are not the best words. I don't understand them. That's what I'm thinking. So that's the main reason he did. I don't know if you saw on Twitter, he got roasted for this. I spend a lot of time on Twitter these days, mostly stalking, reading, but not doing as much posting as I probably should. Although I do often post links on Twitter. My Twitter is Scott Leffler. I do often post links to videos that I've voiced because that's what I do professionally. I voice videos. So if you want to know more about me, check out my Twitter. Twitter.com/Scott Leffler. Another thing interesting in the news, and then we'll get on to some other topics. Colin Kaepernick is now repping for Nike, which I think is great. I saw this news last week. I thought it was wonderful. I think it's nice to see a company take a stand, if you will. I do think that it's funny the number of people who then decided to burn their Nikes. What is it with conservatives? If they don't like something that a corporation says or does, they have to actually do damage to that company's products. Like the Keurigs. When Keurig pulled their advertising from Sean Hannity, people were throwing Keurigs out windows and smashing them with hammers. Some idiot actually bought a truck full of Keurigs just to beat them up. This is not how you boycott things. Once you give your money to Keurig, they have your money. So buying extra Keurigs so that you could destroy them makes no sense at all. None. Idiots. You're all idiots. The All Western New York Awards, I know I mentioned this earlier. Nominations are open. We have 23 categories this year. Nominations are open until the 21st of September. We have 23 categories, significantly down from 68 or 69 last year. Last year's awards, you may realize, never actually happened. We had too many categories. We had too many nominations. Too many nominations were stupid and didn't make any sense. By the time we actually started to get through the nominations and weed out people who didn't belong in certain categories, we didn't have time to it no longer made sense to, here's the awards from a year and a half ago. It was stupid. So we scrapped it. We started over with less categories. And if you nominate someone, like I actually threw out a ballot earlier today because someone nominated the same band for every single category. Now, you can't be the best rap band and the best country band and the best EDM and the best bassist and the best all Western New York talk show host. No, I just threw that ballot out. I'm not dealing with bullshit. We're going to simplify things. But nominations are open for 2 weeks. They started on Saturday during Music is Art. Me and Joe and Ryan and some other people brought some flyers to Music is Art, passed them out so that we can get people to nominate their favorite bands. Rules for this year. Your favorite band must be playing on All Western New York Radio. So if your favorite band is not playing on All Western New York Radio, get a hold of them. Tell them to get us some music. Now, once we get nominations, we are getting a hold of bands that have been nominated that are not currently in our playlist, and we will add them to our playlist, and then their nomination will count. But if we cannot add them to their playlist, their nomination will not count. After we get all the nominations in, we will have a nominating committee that will whittle each category down to 10 names. So there will be 10 names to choose from for the best rock category. There will be 10 names to choose from for the best bassist category, etc. So there's that. As a means of promoting the All Western New York Awards, Joe and Ryan, Joe Kent from the Think So Joe Show, and Ryan Gurnett from the Struggle Is Real Buffalo Music Podcast, invited me out to an undisclosed location in Buffalo to film this promo video. And basically, if you want to check it out, you totally should. It's on All Western New York's Facebook page, which is facebook.com/All WNY. If you want to see me get hit repeatedly, which I could imagine if you're listening to the show, that is something that you've wanted to see for a long time, go and check that video out because it was kind of fun to do. And I enjoyed it. And so there's that. Now, it would not be Here's the Thing without Bird War. This from news.com.au, which is a Australian website. TV reporter left bloodied following magpie attack. A reporter who admitted he was scared of birds has even more reason to fear them now after being attacked by an angry magpie. A television news reporter has found out the hard way that the most dangerous thing in Australian streets might not be drunken hoons or neighbors at war, but the humble magpie. Channel 9 Melbourne journalist Mark Santomartino was left wounded when a magpie swooped down on him in a suburban park, drawing blood in the process. Santomartino posted an image to Twitter of blood dripping down his face from the bird attack. I've shared that image, by the way, on my Twitter, twitter.com/Scott Leffler. It was an especially traumatic experience for the reporter, who said he was terrified of birds. He was filing a story from Hampton Park in the city's southeast when the marauding magpie made force swooped. Before the interview, I went for a walk, and unbeknownst to me, I walked by a tree with a magpie, he told Nine. Out of nowhere, from my left-hand side, I got clipped in the head. All I remember seeing is a flash of black and white. I flinched, but it got me just above my hairline. It certainly hurt at the time, and I ran to the car like a scared little child. It's not the poor presenter's first strike, but definitely the bloodiest, he said. The annual magpie season, when our feathered friends turn feral, has started earlier than usual this year. Do you hear that, folks? Bird war season in Australia has started earlier than normal. Spring seems to have come early for our magpies, as we're already hearing reports of magpies swooping in some areas. South Australian Environmental Department Animal Welfare Manager Deb Kelly told The Advertiser late last month. They've been singing at night, collecting nesting material, and holding little secret meetings to work out territory for the past month or so, Dr. Kelly said. It's nice to know that Dr. Kelly gets it, with their little secret meetings. Obviously, they meet in secret so they can discuss the takeover of the world. They hate us. They hate us for our freedoms. And French fries. One particular magpie, dubbed the Major, has been quite the flying felon in Adelaide. Cyclist Dirk Gardner of Camden Park had a run-in with the notorious swooping magpie on the bike track that runs alongside the Southern Expressway a fortnight ago. He also has been a pretty aggressive, well-known magpie in that area, Mr. Gardner said. He was definitely going in for pretty hard taps. He looked like he wanted to rip my ears off. On previous occasions, he's almost slammed into my back. Dr. Kelly said male magpies defend nests from the time eggs are laid until the young birds are fledged, and they'll attack anything they consider to be a threat, from a raven or a dog to a human. Magpies have excellent recall for faces and very long memories. So if you've been swooped before, or even if you just look like someone they swooped last year, you're likely to get the same treatment again, she said. In other words, once you're on their radar, you're done. They're going to come after you until they're dead, or until you're dead. It's you or the magpies, ladies and gentlemen. The bird war, it's real. Hashtag bird war. Magpies are long-lived and highly territorial, so a magpie that was in a certain tree last year is likely to be in the same tree this year. So if he was a swooper, be careful. They aren't malicious, they're just defending their young. As for Mr. Santo Martino, he said it was the last time I set up an interview at a park. Can you blame the dude? I can't blame the dude. Can't blame him at all. Ladies and gentlemen, it's ugly out there. There's a bird war. Protect yourself. All right, so that's me for the day. I would obviously like to do more, but I just wanted to get my name out there and remind you that you can nominate, here's the thing, for the best All Western New York show in the All Western New York Music Awards. So consider that. I'm not saying what you have to do, but I'm saying it's a possibility. It's something you could do if you wanted to, and I would like that very much. At some point or another, I will be back with full-length shows and interviews and all that fun stuff. But for now, I got to get back to recording YouTube videos for paying clients. So until next time, have a wonderful day.